So last week, I was noticing this phrase that kept coming up and getting in the way and preventing people from actually doing stuff in their business. So I think we should talk about it today, and you can check in and see if you're using it and if this is something that you could stop and get a lot more done when you stop using it. So here we go. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here is your host, Julie Hood.
So last week, we had such a great experience. We did the mini course magic workshop, and so many people were so excited about this tool that we're using and how easy it is to get a mini course up. I was so proud. One of the students, Dana, she got her course finished on Saturday afternoon. Good job. And several others got a whole lot of the steps finished. And then now this week I'm working with a bunch of the folks who decided to go ahead and jump in to the Facebook ads training that Zach Spuckler is doing. So this was all part of last week's $200 experiment. So if you didn't catch that episode, you might want to go back and listen to it. And then these offers are still available. You won't have the live sessions, but you should be able to watch the replays and do them on your own. So if it's something where you're like, I got to get a mini course live, I want to start building my list and finding my students, those are kind of the two main purposes. And I'm having a blast this week working with folks. We are chatting every day at 5 p.m. Eastern about the ads workshop and kind of getting everyone on the same page and seeing how it's going. And so it's a blast. But for this week's podcast, I had something come up, and I just want to make sure that you're not doing this. So this is kind of a heads up, check in with yourself. Do you find yourself doing this sort of episode? So what am I talking about? I've noticed some people really like to use the phrase, oh, I will do this after blah, blah, blah. So I will create my mini course after the football season is over, or I will create my new course after I get through X, Y, and Z. I will do this after blah, blah, blah. And another version of this is, oh, I can't do a mini course right now because or until XYZ. So I can't do a mini course right now because I'm too busy with some project, or I can't do this right now and I can't do this until blah, blah, blah. So the concept is that you're taking something that's going on right now and using that as the reason why you can't take action. And I generally find, and this is very general, so, I'm not saying this is you, but in general, that about 10% of those are 100% valid reasons. So, for example, there was no way I could start a new business the first 3 months after my son was born. Like, I can't start a new business until my newborn baby gets older. 100% valid. Very legit reason. You're not sleeping. They're taking all of your time. Makes sense. But I've also noticed that sometimes I will do this with myself, and especially around chores at home. Oh, I can't deal with that right now. I'll do that after I get the podcast episode. Or I can't do that right now. I need to worry about that until this other thing is finished, or until this project is finished. I can't even think about it or talk about it or worry about it. And I have noticed that instead of using the little snatches of time that are available here and there to move something forward, I like to use that excuse. Oh, too much on the plate right now. Can't worry about it. Can't do it. Can't take care of it. Where if I would just break things down into smaller pieces instead of, oh, this big project that I'm working on, if I had the 1-hour tasks or even the 10-minute tasks, I could still keep it moving forward. And part of this has been coming up because we are in the process of launching a new division, and I'm very nervous about adding anything else in because I don't want to start it and not be able to maintain it. And I'm pretty full right now. So I'm really trying to be strategic about making sure that there's room, but also I keep pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off. I've been working on this for a year now. Like, come on. Let's get to it, get it done. So this is a pretty short and sweet episode this week, but I just want you to notice if you are ever using this. Well, I'll do that after. I'll do this. I can't do this now until something else is finished, because I also have a friend of mine who does this a lot, and because of it, her business doesn't move forward very much because she's always has a reason why she can't do something. And there's always something in the way. And what happens is the more we think those thoughts, the more our brains are on the lookout for all of the things that are in the way that are stopping you, because you know the status. Your brain wants to keep you in the cave and keep you safe and not let you leave and potentially try something new or potentially dangerous. That's not really dangerous these days. It's not like we have cheetahs and lions and animals coming after us anymore. But our brain kind of pictures, oh my goodness, some of these things are just as dangerous. So it's trying to always keep you safe. So one of the things I've been trying to do lately is notice, when is it a legitimate reason and when is it just me honestly making an excuse to get out of something or something that I don't want to do, and then thinking I have a reason for it. It's the perfect brain play on my brain. Like, oh no, it's not that I'm avoiding or not doing. It's because of this XYZ reason. So I hope this is helpful, at least to pause and ask yourself and make sure that that's not what's happening for you. And then the second piece of it is to make sure whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you break down into small enough steps that as you get little snatches of time, you can be working on things. So what are some of those small things when you're sitting in line to pick up your child at school? Could you go out and do a few posts on Threads? You know, you don't necessarily need to be at your computer for 2 hours to do some social media posts. You can go out and comment for a few minutes. Or if you're working on your course and you're trying to figure out, I don't have this big slots of time to work on this, break it down. Maybe you need to use this 5 minutes and figure out what the title of this lesson is going to be. And then maybe the next 5 minutes you're putting together the outline. And then the next 5 minutes you're working on the first little mini outline for a certain lesson. So breaking it down to that level will give you things to do in these in-between times. And instead of like sitting down and you're like, oh, I only have 10 minutes, I'm just not going to have time to get anything accomplished. Or sitting there being like, wonder what I should do, and kind of wasting those 10 minutes scrolling on social media. If you already have your list put together of your 10-minute activities, then you can just sit down and do them, and you don't have to waste the time putting the thought into what should I be doing. You already know what you should be doing, and then you can just jump in and go. So I hope this is helpful. If not, skip this episode and go on to another one. But I just wanted to throw this out here because I had it popping up several times over the past week or so. I was like, I think folks need to hear this or think about it, or at least check in with themselves and see where they're at. So have a great week. By the way, if you have not gotten my Ultimate Course Creators Planner, I know everyone's starting to think about those planner side of things for next year. It's a digital file. You can print off whatever pages that you want to use. The link is in the show notes. So grab that planner and you can start thinking about what's going to happen for you in 2025. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you. Have a fantastic week, and I'll talk to you soon.